I joined the African American sororities and fraternities, I found out that the center, the student center, was for more than getting snacks and looking at cute boys. Found out there are all these great organizations I could join, and I could become politically active in the student space. And of the many things I did, you know, in addition to harassing the governor nonstop, who initially took my calls because of the last name, it was very funny, for taking my calls after a few days. I led a campus-wide walkout of classes to protest Governor Chandler's ongoing membership of the Board of Trustees. I staged a walkout. Of course, I went to all my friends' classes first, hoping that they would come along with me. No, but it made for great stories at our wedding. All my bridesmaids told that story. I'm trying to shame them to come out of French class to, you know, do this march. And then I found out about the Iran-Contra affair, and that my beloved country and government had done things like prop up dictators, and, you know, I just had that awakening. It's kind of like finding out your parents have sex. It's very disturbing. But a necessary part of one's learning. And I never looked back. And so that's how I personally became involved. And I started to campaign, I started to canvass. I always supported organizations like Planned Parenthood that believe family planning prevents unintended pregnancy. And I have this strange mind that follows the logic that if we prevent unintended pregnancy, we reduce the need for abortion. And then I found Democrats, leaders on the national level who I admired and respected. People like President Clinton, who said abortion should be rare, and it should be safe, and it should be legal. And that brings me up to this moment in time where I've had the opportunity in some painful years like 2000 and 2004 to campaign in states like Florida and North Carolina and nationally, and go through some brutal disappointments. I've experienced that sting of knowing, as much as I cared and as involved as I was, there were elections in which I hadn't voted. How embarrassing is that? But it's a story I share because there are so many people with good intentions who don't make it to the polls, or who, as we know, are disenfranchised. They don't have access to the poll because of their work schedule. Maybe they're unwell that day, or maybe they don't have childcare and they have a sick kid at home that they don't feel they can leave, or they don't have the right kind of voter identification card. So I share that story as much of an embarrassment to me as it is, to motivate me to know I have the right, the opportunity, and the exquisite privilege of exercising my civic duty, not just one day a year, but every day of my life as an American. And I want to encourage you to keep doing that yourselves. You already do so much and you work so hard. But never get your spirit flag, never get down in the dumps. So, some of the things that I'd like to leave you with, when it comes to that personal narrative, Obamacare has done so much for us right here in Tennessee. We have, in our state alone, have 350,000 children who cannot be denied insurance because of pre-existing conditions. That's a significant number of our very own Tennessee children. And last night, Governor Romney told a fib. He said that under his no, he did. It's just amazing, isn't it? It's just amazing. He said that kids with pre-existing conditions would not be denied under his proposed health care plan, and that is patently false. And this health care plan would also mean that folks who currently don't have insurance would not be able to get it. And he has no solution for those millions of Americans who live in chronic fear of financial destruction because of illness. So those 350,000 kids of ours cannot be denied insurance because of pre-existing conditions. We've got 74,000 of our young people who are carried now on their parents' plans until the age of 26. When we get out of college, what we need to do is start building our careers, not again, have financial shocks because we become sick. There are so many practical simple, elegant things that President Obama has done for us. And I'm sure that those numbers relate to you individually. So take them, use them, tell your story with them. And I'm sure that there are people in this room who are of the 74% of Tennesseans who accessed free preventative care this year alone because of Obamacare. And in Tennessee, we're just smart like that. We know that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And that's something that, when Todd made the introduction tonight, he said that we are building the democratic grassroots base here in the state of Tennessee. Because there will come a day, when we have more Democrats in our House legislature, when we have more Democrats in Washington, D.C., and when the state votes for a Democratic ticket for president and vice president. I mean, just look at Arkansas. Arkansas is very democratic at the state level, and we'll be able to do that too. But it's about building those alliances in our own communities. I've gone to the polls in Williamson County and had a poll worker say to me, well, you just voted the wrong way. Unacceptable. That is inappropriate. I know. So we have to stand up to that kind of stuff. That's why a night like tonight is important. Hey, it's great I'm going to Iowa. It's great I'm going to Wisconsin. It's really important that I'm here with you tonight. I appreciate your confidence in me. That's very flattering. Thank you. And, I was able to publish a series of journals based on the trips that I've taken all over the world doing poverty alleviation, sex slavery abolition, working with forcibly displaced persons. The book was called All That Is Bitter and Sweet. And one of the things I say in there, which is, a little intimate and a little vulnerable to share publicly, but it is who and what I am. My deepest desire is to love my God, to make my life an act of worship, and to be as useful as I can to my fellows, wherever they may be. And if that's what, I start to feel the God of my understanding wants for me, well, then I'll have to take a look at that. So thank you for asking the question, and again, I appreciate your confidence in me. Yeah, they're Christian Democrats, I know. It's crazy, right? So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for letting me be here with you tonight. Again, Todd, thank you so much for your friendship and your support and for chipping everyone who works so hard. What you do makes a difference. Whether you canvass, whether you phone bank, whether you show up down there and bring, a fresh pie and a pot of coffee to the people who are at your county offices, when you serve in some position within our state party, it absolutely makes a difference. So keep up the good work. I am honored and esteemed to be amongst you. And, I got to go home because I'm getting on that plane to go to Iowa. Just let me hear it one more time to put some wind in my sails. Fire up!